Well, folks, I'm going to let this dry a little bit. Then I'm going to flip it over, make sure the other side is good and secured, and I think we're ready to put the face on. At this point, I'm pretty happy with this as far as a console goes. If you're watching this to figure out how to build a cabinet, I probably wouldn't do that. I mean, you can see a super simple, easy way to do it that is okay. But there are some great carpenters out there on YouTube, like Bourbon Moth is one of them, but there's lots of them out there that show you how to build cabinets that do a fantastic job. I'm just an old jarhead that's making a cabinet to put his stuff in. I call it my console at the cabin. It's just something simple. I don't have to spend a lot of time trying to make this perfect. It doesn't need to be. So, but I actually think it's going to look great. So I'm pretty happy with it right now. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and, you know what? Take a little break, let this dry, and come back here in a jiffy, like this. All right, that should have dried enough to be able to get these off. You're probably wondering, how come his sleeves are rolled up? I was out washing my Jeep. So I really did take a break. You know, sometimes you probably wonder, like, does he really take a... Oh, I pierced the side of that. Dang it, I didn't see that, guys. I messed up. Oops. Oh, well. Good thing it's a cabin. Oh, yeah. Dang out the side there. Okay. Let a brad nail go out one side. A little bit. We'll fix it. Probably don't need these brad nails in here, but I decided to put them in anyway. Just sort of a double. I could do a little fill on them or something if I wanted to, but honestly, I'll never pay attention. It's a cabin. All right. Perfect. You're probably wondering about that torn out bit of plywood here. I got this plywood at a discount because of that. You know, sometimes you can, when you go to those big box stores, if they've got something that's all torn up, you can get a good deal off it. And I don't remember what I got, maybe 50% off or something, but it was a pretty good deal off. So pretty happy with that. I did get one of those brad nails shot out right there. Otherwise, it looks pretty good. So I think we're good there. Now, let me show you what we're doing. The next step is to take this crudely cut out piece of 1/4 inch plywood, cut that to fit in this space here. This is really deep, and I've got a few things that are going to be here, and you know, probably a stereo right here, and then I'm going to have an opening here. So I may decide to box that out and leave like a little cubby right here. I might do that. And then all of this will get trimmed out in pine so that, you know, you don't see this edge anyway. So I think we're going to be good. It'll be all hidden up pretty well, and I'll have to just hammer that nail back in a little bit up top and clean that up. I'll set this back down here like a sieve. Water on rag, wipe the glue off. It's pretty good, not bad. run a sawmill and I'm building an off-grid cabin, but I am not the best option when it comes to learning how to build cabinets. So if you're thinking this cabinet is awesome and you want to build one, well sure, you could do it the way I did it. But I'm just being honest. I'm not a great finished carpenter, folks. I'm really not. It's sort of a hack job. I do some good finished stuff. Usually, you know, if I do you know, like a coffee table or something out of epoxy resin and live edge or something, I think I do a pretty good job with that. But I mean, cabinet making, I have a long ways to go before I'd be willing to say that my cabinet making skill is worth paying attention to. Honestly, I'm just being honest. I'm not the top cabinet making guy you want to watch. You want to build an off-grid cabin in the woods and you know, make your solar power work. Sure, you do what I do. I'm not perfect. I make my mistakes, but I think I do an alright job of that kind of stuff. I think I do okay. But that's it. I'm just okay. I'm not your super awesome best there is out there guy that you're going to get to do this. Okay, looking good. Now let's clamp the crap out of it. Well, technically they say you don't really want to clamp it super hard. You just want to clamp it enough. Well folks, that's what I've got in clamps, and we're all glued up. Super simple, no beveled edges, nothing fancy, just straight square cut trim. We'll let that dry, hopefully it'll stay there. And I just need to make the kick plate on the bottom. We'll do like an inch, maybe an inch and a half. I'm not sure because I think I measured 32 inches max height. So if I do an inch and a half down here, I should be fine. And then we're ready to go. And all I've got to do is put something in there for the radio, drill a couple holes for switches. I think we'll be okay. So stand by for that. We'll get back to it here shortly as soon as I take these clamps off, which may be tomorrow. So back in a flash. Alright. It's kind of fun stuff, folks. May not be a cabinet maker, but it doesn't mean that I don't enjoy making stuff. This one will fit here, and this one will fit there. So you kind of get the idea. I've got to get rid of the pencil marks there, obviously, and clean that up, and that'll sit there. And it could have been a little higher, I guess. Honestly, I was just kind of guesstimating, but I still got room to put the stereo down here somewhere. So I think that's going to work. Pretty cool, eh? I did miss getting some of that glue off right there. Unfortunately, it's a good thing the cabin's dark, but otherwise, it's pretty good. Got a little sanding and staining still, so we're gonna leave it for now. But tomorrow we'll get a little sanding done. Oh, I got a little pop here. Oh, I missed that one. Dang it! I may have to fill that right there. That's a nail that popped through somehow. Oops. All right. Okay, that heat's going. What is the temperature? 39. It's not too bad. I've got that back heat going. I think I'm going to get the power on. I'll get that other lantern out. Okay. I'll move the Jeep. All right, having that big light helps. Well, folks, kind of crazy. I was really expecting a lot of ice and snow, but the big melt off seems to be keeping things thawed out. All right, well, if you watched my last video, you know this was wet. And folks, it got wet. Holy cow, all the way up to there. I really need to clean this mess up, but I can see we had water up to there. So it definitely got wet in here, but I got plenty of power. So, all right. Get plenty of power. Plenty warm. Now I can close this up, so I'm going to set you down again. Bear with me, folks. All right. Close back up again. Take care of the generator while we're at it. Somebody put this back on when we were here last and jammed this up again. Gosh. There we go. All right. All right, that's set up. It can, oh, the light that Jeep puts out is awesome, folks. Oh, get the water jug. Power's on. Got to get water. Coming out here at night, folks, is always one of those things where it can get a little bit kind of crazy at first. Obviously got it probably another ½ an inch of water or something in there.
Batteries are okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're six inches easy over where the floor is, so they were at least 5 inches out of the water. Something I gotta fix though. All right, let's shut this off here in a minute. Put this up on the porch. Don't tell anybody. Okay, I'm gonna pull the Jeep back over there. I got to remember that I've got a camera in there too that I was. Stars are out tonight. Pretty cold out, about 23 degrees now. Which isn't bad because it's winter time, so you kind of want it to be cold because it's winter and, you know, we need the snow and whatnot. I will admit that whenever I come out, I always end up forgetting something like these shirts. So they get thrown in the back. It's like, oh, I'll just toss it back here. Darcy's in the cabin trying to warm up. She's cold-blooded. She didn't do well in the cold, folks.
That's gonna fit in the corner.
We measured it, so yes. I'm quite sure.
Yeah, I was seeing it up on the deck. It just looked big.
It looks very big, but we measured it. In fact, that's smaller than what we measured it could be. Yeah. All right. Yeah, well, it's 23 here. So, I mean, it's chilly. It's chilly enough to remind you that it's still winter. I just love the fact that the driveway was clear enough that we just drove right up without chains. Might need chains next time, but I mean, like I said, it's supposed to start snowing again and get back to normal cold type temperatures. My bungee strap came off. Not that it's needed, I just threw it on as a spare strap to have handy and to hold that a little bit better. Ready? Okay, ready? I'll just put on here, like so. Okay. All right. Well, folks, it was 23 degrees on the way up here, so back to normal winter weather, which usually, you know, gets into the low 20s, upper teens at night, and it can easily get above freezing during the day, which is actually the reason why we have so much ice out here. It kind of thaws during the day, freezes hard at night, and thaws and freezes, and it does this over and over and over again where we're at. So this particular day, super dry, but you know, when I left here 2 weeks ago, which you would have watched probably the last video of that just Saturday, I'm thinking. You're probably seeing this the following Tuesday. It was 37 degrees. It had been raining. Everything was melting off, and it wasn't getting cold at night. And apparently it stayed that way for another week and a half, and then bang, started to get cold again. Now we're expecting more snow, which is good. We need the snow up in the mountains here. Over here on the West Coast, we rely on that mountain snowpack to fill up all the reservoirs. Well, you know, the big cities need their water, right? Us folks that live on the other side of these states, we don't have as much of a problem, but the big cities do, and so we need that water. But getting up here tonight was awesome. It's 20 after 9. I wasn't even expecting to be here until 9:30 because I figured I'd have to chain up. You know, there's 10, 15 minutes of messing around with chains, and then you got to drive half as fast to get up here. So it was really nice to be able to just leave it in 4 high, get all the way to our driveway, drop it into 4 low, and then rock and roll right up the driveway. That was awesome. Super excited about that. And then thanks to the big light from High Five Motorsports and Outdoors, which you may have seen on my Jeep channel, I was able to just pull the Jeep over here with that big light on, and I could see really well. You know, I did have, I guess I should turn that off. I did have my light on my cover, but you know, I could see really well. It was awesome. Now, the water, again, Saturday, flooding by the batteries. It looks like I got probably twice as much water, so I may have had as much as an inch of water back there. I've never seen that before. I do think I have a temporary solution, and I may even have it here. I've got some roofing patch kind of stuff that you can apply even if it's wet. So I may try to use that tomorrow to see how it goes, but I will tell you, it's supposed to be nice and sunny tomorrow. I got a few logs over there by the mill. I didn't bring a chainsaw, so I'm not falling more trees, but I've got a few logs, which means I'm gonna be able to do some milling. So stick around for that. It's probably coming in the next video, but it's coming. So now we gotta get the rest of this stuff moved into the cabin, and I gotta get a fire going. So let's get to it, let's get her done. Hey folks, as sometimes happens when using GoPros, the sound doesn't always record. Some of it did, but when I wanted to try to show you my console that I built earlier in this video and brought out to install in the cabin, well, the sound died on me. So while I get this fire started, I'll just let you know that I didn't completely finish getting this console installed. We got it placed. We got the components in it, at least the initial components in it. I think it looks really good, and you'll get to see it here in just a second. There's going to be more follow-up on this because now I've got to try to run all of the wires that are going to go from the console back into the back room. And this is going to allow me to turn the power on from inside the cabin. I won't have to go into the back room like I had to do earlier in the video. I'll just be able to walk in up to the console and flip the switch on the left. It's kind of a black box there. And then flick the one on the right that will set the generator in the automatic generator start mode. And the center one will tell me what my voltage is. And of course, I'll get the stereo installed in there with a couple of switches, one to turn the generator on and one to turn the stereo on. So there you have it. We're almost there, folks. Thanks for watching. Meanwhile, I'll drop another video right here for you to check out. Y'all have a great day. More to come. The Old Jarhead out.